Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Absolutely Not podcast. I'm your host, Heather McMahan. I'm in a very news anchory mood because I co-hosted the Today Show with Hoda today. She is a bad bitch, and I want to tell you all about it. Let's get into it. I'm sitting very proper if you're watching this on YouTube. I am sitting up so nicely. I am supported by a pillow. I'm doing all the things my PT told me to do. So everybody, fuck off. I'm doing the work. I also have a very short dress on from Reformation, which I have to bitch about them in a minute. But I do have a little jacket. Now, the team here at the podcast studio said to let you see a little coochie because they thought it would help the YouTube ratings. But I do have a little jacket here that I can drape over my legs if I need, as they call in Southern churches, a modesty church cloth. And that's what ladies do to cover their coochies while they're praising the Lord. But you know what? Coochie out right now. Anywho, how we doing? Today's been a day. I had one of those afternoons where I did the Today Show. I went and had a fabulous lunch at Milos. Shout out to some of the freshest Greek food in town. And let me tell you something right now. If you ladies out there are single, okay, you got to go to Milos. There's one in Midtown and Hudson Yards. But the one in Midtown that I went to right after the Today Show for a noon fresh Greek lunch was packed to the brim with fucking finance guys. They were hot. They had money. They were drinking wine at lunch. Listen to me. I'm looking directly in a camera. If you're a single woman in New York City, you get your ass to the corner of, I believe, 51st between 7th and, no, 55th between 7th and 6th, and you go to Milos. You sit yourself, you dress at the fucking nines, you wear a tailored suit with the titties out, and you sit at that bar, you get yourself a nice tuna burger or some of their zucchini chips that you dip in tzatziki. One of the freshest meals I've had in quite some time, thank you very much. You have a glass of white wine and you find yourself a man, okay? I'm not saying that you need a man, but if you want one, that's where to find it. Let's get into the Today Show though. Oh no, wait, sorry, back up. What I was gonna say is, I did the Today Show, went and had a gorgeous lunch, and then I went and took one of the hardest naps of my life. Your girl doesn't get to nap like she used to. A hotel room nap is different than a nap at your home. Okay. You know, I can't really take naps in my house because Robin every 3 seconds is coming in my room, asking me what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Why am I taking a nap? Am I ill? Am I pregnant? It's constant, just you're getting berated for all the things that you did or didn't do that day when you're 37 and you live at home with your mother. So times don't change. So I have to fly to New York, spend $1,000 on a hotel room a night in order to take a 2-hour nap. But I took that good hard nap. I woke up. I made myself a shot of espresso. I had a Levain cookie, and damn it, I'm ready to spill the tea on today. Hold on, let me adjust the pony. Real quick sip of the waters. Water break. Let's get into it. Let me tell you something right now. I've said this before, but the Today Show is the greatest gig in television. Hoda is one of the most professional bad bees on the planet. She is funny. When I go to the job, she makes me feel like I'm the most important person in the room. She's a true professional. And if you ever get the chance to meet Hoda, to work with her, she is a dream. Jenna's fantastic as well. I obviously was sitting in for her today because she was at her daughter's, elementary, celebrating her passing her passage to the next grade, which, I went in I went in depth about that the other day, that there's too many fucking graduations. So go back and listen to that episode. But Jenna was being a mom, you know what I mean? And I popped in to take her place today. Hoda's just the best. I walk in and she's like, Heather, we are so happy you're here. Just like razzing me up in the best way. Got the whole studio ready for me to go in there and just, not do much. I mean, I'm there for color, funny commentary, but Hoda is the journalist, okay? And I just follow her lead. So we're doing the damn thing. And this is what I love about the Today Show. 1 minute you're talking about something serious. Next minute you're talking about viral things on TikTok. We're ranking our favorite donut flavors to we're interviewing the cast of Baby Reindeer. And it is such a wild pivot. You're running up the stairs, down the stairs. You're in this studio. You're in studio A. You're in studio B. You're literally have 30 seconds in between each set change. It's absolute bonkers. Like the hour goes by so quick. You think you're like, I didn't do a good job. Like what happened? It's a completely outer body experience. But we interview the cast of Baby Reindeer. If you haven't seen Baby Reindeer, it's phenomenal. Really interesting limited series about this guy who ends up getting a stalker, takes a very dark, twisted turn about a traumatic event that he went through. And I'm not going to give you much because I don't want to give it away. You should definitely watch it. But it was kind of interesting because here we are trying to interview him and his co-star about, about the show, how it's getting all this Emmy buzz. And there was so much red tape. We've we couldn't really ask them a lot because they weren't allowed to like talk about the stalker. And so I'm looking through, and we're trying to obviously be very respectful as, you know, proper journalists of what we can ask. But it was kind of like you did a TV show about being stalked and these traumatic events. But my curiosity was just kind of like, did you not think that like that person that you talked about was eventually going to come out and like, I don't know, try and, you know, say something? Like I was waiting to see the stalker woman outside with a sign in the plaza that just said like, go fuck yourself. That didn't happen. I was disappointed about that. And I said this last time about Baby Reindeer. I feel like my fans are not doing enough, you know? Am I excited that 2,000 of y'all are coming on a comedy cruise with me? I sure am. Do I think that some of y'all should be in my bushes at night? I do. You know what I mean? I got a little time off this summer. I'd love a little bit of a challenge. I will say when I watch Baby Reindeer, because it is a stalker of an opposite sex, I've never really had a male stalker. And that is, I think, the saddest part of my life. I asked my husband, I said, Jeff, is there a reason why men aren't, you know, just hiding in trash cans to see my beauty in the raw? And he said, I think you put too much on the internet. They see enough. And I said, fantastic. But now I am here sitting in a very short, tight Reformation dress, showing you a little vagina so that in hopes some male somewhere in middle America will see this on YouTube and say, that's my girl. But today was wild. Like, you know, I really was excited to interview the cast from Baby Reindeer, but I was so nervous because they're like, you can't say this, and legally they're not trying to say that. And you say, you know, we had to be very, very cautious and courteous of what we were asking. And I was like, I don't know how real journalists do it, okay? I'm a stand-up comedian. The last thing I need to be fucking doing is going and, you know, trying to talk to a leader of Hamas. You know, that's not my gig. But it was really wild to see how professional Hoda was, how she took the reins. She's like, girl, I got this. Like, you just follow along and ask them, what's it like to have fame? You know, like, I was just peppering the dumbest questions while I was sweating through I had a Honey Love bodysuit on underneath this blazer. And I was like, you know, I'm doing the best I can. Like, I got it from the couch. It was wet. I wasn't proud of it. Hoda even yelled out at one point, can we turn the fan on for Heather? Can we turn on the studio AC? She's absolutely melting. And that's a real bitch. And I love her. And I hope she knows that I'm saying that in the utmost respect because she's Hoda and she's everything. But the Today Show, that's a great gig, man. You're in, you're out. You know, yeah, it's an early start, but you're done. You're wrapped by noon. You know, you're having lunch at Milos looking for your second husband. It's a fucking great gig. You got a driver, you got a nice dressing room, you got stylists, like everything's built in. There was like 2 different food segments. I'm eating a glazed donut. I'm eating homemade sweet potato gnocchi with broccoli rabe by 9 a.m. It was fantastic. That is a gig. I'm all about manifesting. I'm putting that in the universe that, you know, when I need a real break, when my kids are in, I don't know, high school and they're dabbling in the ketamines and I got to make sure that I'm off the road and I'm staying home to keep an eye on them. I want that job. So Hoda, when you're ready to retire, let your girl know. Anywho, we're going to get into the voicemails in a minute, but guys, I got a little bone to pick. This company of this dress that I'm wearing, love their stuff. Don't want to get blackballed because they make high quality products. But this is from Reformation. Very cute dress. I always get compliments. My jugs look good. They're nice and lifted. The back fat is covered. A little coochie. Never hurt anybody. But this company makes it so it's so hard to return shit. I think that they're running some sort of scam. Every time I go on the website to return something, right? I'm like, all right. And you know how I do it. I got the shoulders of an offensive lineman. I order 55 dresses and I got to take it to a tailor. So I don't know what's going to fit. So I already have very high ticket, basket items. So if I've spent like $4,000 on dresses, I may only keep 2, but I got to, I can't go to the store and try them on in my size. So I got to do the online ordering. So I order all this shit. It's a lot of stuff to return. And every time I go on this fucking website, it glitches. And so I was like, oops, down for maintenance. Reformation, that's bullshit. You're not down for maintenance. My fat ass was desperate and had to order online because I don't get to go into the store like the other gals. And now you're making it difficult for me to return it. Fix your situation, and your customer service needs to be a little bit more on par. I got very upset. So now I'm out $3,000 on linen dresses that I can't zip. And I took them to my girl Isabella at Go To Bella Bridal, which is my alteration shop in Atlanta. And she said in a thick Russian accent, she's like, we absolutely cannot do. No, like it's no fit, don't zip, like it's not going to happen. So if Isabella can't do it, I'm fucked. So I would really like for somebody to let my return hit my account. because I'm holding the dresses hostage right now until I see that money back in my account. The box is labeled, it's ready to go, but I need that instant reformation refund. Okay, off my soapbox. What else is going on? Really throwing people under the bus today, including myself. What's up? We're in New York. It's fabulous. You know what I mean? We're running around. Every time I'm here, it rains. It is moist. The steam heat is rising from the underbelly of the subway. I just bumped into a German tourist while I was here, smoking a cigarette, which then made me slip because it was slippery outside the Sheraton in Times Square. And as soon as I slipped, I yelled, I could own this place. This is a little tidbit if you didn't know this. If you do trip on a New York City sidewalk, especially in front of a brownstone, it's actually up to the brownstone owner to take care of that for you. So I'm just letting you know, I'm not litigious. I would never. But if you do need a free night stay at the Sheraton, it is very slick in front of the Sheraton in Times Square right now. What else is going on? We're going up to New York. We're in New York. We're going upstate. We're going to Saratoga this weekend for the Belmont Stakes. As you know, I'm a horse owner. Okay. I got into the horse game. Heather, why'd you get into the horse game? I'll tell you why I got into the horse game. Because I shot my first comedy special in Lexington. And we have really good friends who showed us around their farm, and they were, kind of the kings and queens of running the horse biz. And I fell in love with the horses. I fell in love with the whole thing. And I decided I'm going to get involved. So your girl's got a new son. He's a 2-year-old colt. We're still working on naming him. I loved so many of the suggestions. Let me pull up some of the suggestions. Most of the suggestions that I really gravitated towards were from my buddy Taylor Capocacci, who I absolutely adore. But let's go through some of the names that y'all wanted me to name my horse. Now, here's the thing. A lot of these were great, but there's a lot of stipulations when it comes to naming your horse. Like, obviously you want something on brand, but you need to make sure if it's going to be a show pony, it's got to be under certain regulations within the horsing community. I liked my favorite right now. Shout out to Taylor Capocacci. My favorite was Timothy McNay. And if you don't know who Timothy McNay is, Timothy McVeigh was, I believe, the Unabomber. Was he not? Yes. So I really love that, Timothy McVeigh. Because if you don't think that my little 2-year-old colt is going to be, an absolute killer on the racetrack, then you must not know that I'm his mother. I also liked Nathan, also from Taylor Capocacci, but Nay, like Neigh, Nay. I liked Horsey, but it was whore in it. So Horsey, which I thought was very clever because obviously his mother's a whore. Let's see. We had Tiramisu Soon. We had Brittany Spur, also a fantastic one. I really like that, Brittany Spurs. My favorite, again, from Taylor, Pony Soprano. And I don't think we can use Pony Soprano because we can't have the word horse, pony, colt. Like, it just has to be, like Big Dick Daddy. We could use that. We've applied for that one, but we don't know if they're going to allow us to use that. I mean, can't you just see, who wins the Kentucky Derby? Big Dick Daddy. And it's just me in a fabulous dress in the stands, throwing cash everywhere. It's just a beautiful scene. It's so Southern of me to do this. But yeah, so we're obviously put that name in, but we don't know. We don't know yet. Somebody also said Scammer, which I do like. We could do Master Scammer for the horse, which I think would be very on brand. I really liked Natalie suggested Sir King Kyle McMahon Daniels. Also love that, which was paying homage to my father. I don't know if my dad would want to have a horse named after him. Although one of the reasons I also did get into horses is because my dad grew up on a farm, a big ranch in Texas, and he had a horse named Ginger. And I don't know if that's why he married a redhead, aka my mother. There must have been some weird equestrian, also Oedipus complex there. I don't know what the fuck my dad did with his horse Ginger, but he did everything for redheads. So there's a whole nother thing. Somebody just said to name the horse Ray Padilla. That's great. That's great. We got, of course, a lot of people said tiramisu, another pasta, because my dogs are macaroni and rigatoni. I do like that somebody just suggested Mommy Show Pony, but again, unfortunately, I don't think we can use that name because it has pony in it. But either way, at the top of my list right now is obviously Pony Soprano and Timothy McNay. So we'll see, but it may be Big Dick Daddy. I will let you guys know. But thank you for your excitement about that, your encouragement. A lot of people have these ideas about the horse world, but it's been really interesting. I mean, these horses are shit. they're massaged better than I am. I mean, it's kind of unbelievable. It's a really interesting life in that show pony world. So, I'm getting my hands dirty, and I'm going to be rubbing the asses of some very, very prestigious horses. So, see you at the stalls, baby. I actually know so little about the horse world, but, there's a time and place for everything. We're going to learn. Okay, I'm throwing this back there. Great. All right. You know what? I think we should just jump into it. How long have I been recording? 4 minutes?
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I was like, what? Okay, let's get into the voicemails. And today I'm going to be playing them from my phone. But when you watch us on YouTube, it will look so professional. As always, you can call in 800-213-7503 to the Absolutely Not line. If you're new to the podcast, I'm basically solving all the world's issues. Do I know what's going on in the Middle East? I don't. But if you call in and ask about it, we'll figure it out together. So let's get into it. This is really unhinged because I took an espresso shot and I'm sweating. I'm speedballing.
I know.
You're not, if you're listening to this right now, you're not listening to this on speed. I'm very jazzed up. All right, let's get into the voicemails. I don't even know what we're about to hear. Also, side note, I did pitch myself to everyone at NBC. If anybody breaks a leg, gets a UTI, goes into some sort of traumatic coma before the Olympics, I'm ready. I know about sports. I know about the athletes. I would love to do some Olympic commentating. The Parisians are going to hate me just as much as they hate everyone else. So I think it would be kind of fun to put a full-figured blonde woman, and I can put on the thick Southern accent and throw me out into the mean streets of Paris and just see what happens. So just throwing that out there. If there's anybody listening who has any ties to the Olympics, I'd love to be at the games. But let's get into these voicemails. Here's the first one.
Hi, Heather. It's Morgan, and I just have a quick absolutely not for you. So,
Okay.
Last week, sadly, my husband's grandmother, 87, passed away. Precious lady. But in the process of the funeral planning, I find out that me and my 6 or 7 sister-in-laws, outlaws, cousin-in-laws, I don't know, the women that married into the family, are going to be the pallbearers for Granny.
Okay.
So I don't really know what that's about. I didn't even know, women could be pallbearers. I mean, I guess we can do anything. The future is female. I mean, girl power. But I don't know. I don't really understand. Apparently, we're going to be standing with Granny, lifting her into the hearse. I don't know. I'm a little nervous about the whole thing, given the heels and the, outfits and things. But yeah. So there's that. I am going to be a pallbearer for my husband's grandma, who isn't my grandma, but is my grandma? I don't know. Anyways, I guess absolutely not. Maybe absolutely yes to being a female pallbearer. I don't know. But there's that. Anyways, love and light. You're the best.
First of all, I'm so sorry to hear about Granny's passing. So rest in peace. We honor, and I'll throw up a dove later for Granny. I'll find a loose pigeon somewhere in Central Park and just let it go. Okay, let's talk about this. Now I got to be honest with you. 7-year-old Heather at her pawpaw's funeral, rest in peace, Captain Jack McMahon, thought I was upset that no one asked me to be the pallbearer. We only had girl cousins on the McMahon side. There was not a single boy until my cousin got knocked up when she was 16. Shout out to my cousin Aiden. Love that kid. We never had any guys in the family when it came to like cousins, nephews, anything. So I was upset that no one asked me at 7 to be the pallbearer. I like to move heavy furniture for my family. I was the son my dad never had. I was upset that Pawpaw didn't put it in his will, that he wanted me to just a solo carry his casket, to the funeral home, out of the funeral home, put it in the car, take it from the car over to the cemetery. Like, I was very upset that didn't happen for me. So I would say absolutely yes to this moment. This is a privilege. This is an honor. Also, Granny asked all the ladies in the family because she knew y'all were a common theme today, bad bitches. She didn't want her pussy little son and all of the guy cousins and all these little twerps who were probably living off the family trust fund. She didn't want their asses. She said, you married into this dysfunctional family. Okay, Caroline, Leslie, Sue Ellen, I want y'all to come in. Whether you're going to roll an ankle in your Kohl's heels or not, she wanted you guys to be the ones who were carrying, the matriarch matriarch of the family off to the next realm. I think it's a beautiful thing. If that doesn't say girl power, I don't know what does. I thought about a couple things. I have an entrepreneurial spirit. I love this idea of having an all lesbian. They don't have to be lesbian. You don't have to identify. I mean, it is Pride Month, but you don't have to identify as gay to be a part of my all female moving company. But I think that should happen because women are efficient packers. We get shit done. We have a great visual landscape of how to put things in a truck. But I also like this idea of female pallbearers. More women need to be running funeral homes. I know that that's typically a man's job. More men are morticians. But I think women have a softer, gentler touch when dealing with the dead, when dealing with the deceased family. You know what I mean? When I sat down and had to pick out my dad's burial plot, I sat with a nice woman whose name was actually Sue Ellen. And, she had to tell me that my dad was too fat for the casket. And had a man given me that information, I probably wouldn't have digested it that great. But because a woman, a gentle woman with an ample bosom and maybe a touch of a hair lip, she had the surgery, but there was definitely a scar there. She was disarming, is what I'm trying to say. And I just spent a whole afternoon with her. And then we had such a good time when we were picking out my dad's burial plot that we also picked out my mom's burial plot. She is still with us. So that's how much we did a 2-for-1. Also, women are better at sales. But I love this idea that you're the pallbearer. I'd wear a sneaker. I also think that you should start a family group chain right now. Tell the other ladies we're wearing tuxes. I think you all get fabulous custom tuxes. You roll in there. Don't wear a dress shoe. Everybody gets matching Nike Air Force Ones, because if you're going to be pallbearing, you need to be, your center of gravity needs to be sturdy. You need to go outside, rub the sneakers across the gravel a little bit, make sure they have some traction, because you can't slip like I just slipped in front of the Sheraton in Times Square. All right, you'll fucking die. I saw my life flash before my eyes as a German tourist was blowing smoke in my face. So again, I better get a couple nights free at that Sheraton. Also, I feel like that Sheraton is where every flight attendant stays. Mm-hmm. Every time you're walking through Times Square, it's 65 Air France flight attendants who just look fucking pissed. They got their scarves blowing in the wind and they just hate New York City. But pallbearing's great. When I showed up to my papa's funeral, I remember such a core memory for me. And I'm going to find the photo. I will find this photo and I'll put it up on YouTube along with this episode. It was all my girl cousins at my papa's funeral. And everybody was in a black dress. And because I was a very chubby kid, this is first grade, second grade, my mom took me to the Limited, and the Limited 2, obviously there was not a black dress that fit me. So I went to the Limited, which was the women's store, and I found a khaki suit dress. It was it was a dress that a 52-year-old woman who was working at AT&T headquarters, that's what she would wear. And I wore a khaki dress to my papa's funeral, and I was 7 years old, and I showed up, and my cousin Shannon goes, "What's with the khaki?" And I had a lateral lisp at the time. I was like, "You know what, Shannon? I'm doing the best I can." And I was Papa's favorite. So that is just such an iconic photo. And I remember I jazzed it up with a scarf. I'm pretty sure I had a scarf around my neck, but all my cousins, the rest of the family is wearing black, and I am in a khaki suit from the Limited, which no 7-year-old wore the Limited, but I had to because that was my only choice. God, Papa's funeral. I was his favorite. I don't care. I was. My Mimi hated me. I've told you this. Southern Mimis are mean. I hope that this grandma, I hope that Nana, I hope she was lovely. I hope she respected you, and I hope she left you in the will. I hope she left you some money. But I would start a group chain with all the female family members and say, we're sending Nana off in style, okay? You need to look snazzy, have a sensible shoe on, start lifting weights, do a couple, F45, do an Orange Theory, hit a berries, and get ready. I mean, I'm sure, listen, grandmas could never be that heavy. So I'm sure she maybe weighed, 120 pounds? I mean, that generation, they never, my mom's generation, she's a boomer. She still weighs the same she did in high school. It's fucking bullshit, okay? That's not my generation, I'll tell you that much. So I'm sure Nana's probably $120, maybe $115, had brittle bones. And I don't think you need to worry about actually carrying her. I think that's going to be the easiest part of it. I think you definitely, though, need to make sure you're getting a little cash out of the deal. You know what I mean? Just, I don't know. I just breeze by the attorney afterwards. I'd just say, hey, Mark, good to see you. You know, want to know, did Nana leave? Is my name in any sort of paperwork? Just see. Because if she asked y'all to be the pallbearers, then she definitely left you a little coin. Because she's probably like, all the guys in the family are absolute, just, you know, losers. And probably wanted the ladies of the family to, you know, keep the legacy of that Johnson family going. So that's a beautiful thing. And you know what, Nana, we miss you. We love you. And, you know, I hope you're living your best life abroad. You know, she's not actually dead. She moved to fucking Morocco because she was sick of your fucking family. Great voicemail, though. Female pallbearers. I mean, that is peak Heather McMahan as a child. That would have been my dream. And I remember my dad carried the casket for my papa with all of like the brothers. And I literally was like, Dan, I want to do it. And he was like, you're 7. And I was like, let me go. That would have been my dream. You know, my papa and I were close. Okay. Not to be weird, but I knew the day my dad was going to die, and I was the only one who was awake for my dad's death. And then the day my papa died, I had been at his house the day before, and I sat on his lap. This is going to sound weird. And I said, Papa, you're the best. I hope you live forever. And I had a weird feeling even at 7. And my dad said, why did you say that? I was like, I just love him so much. I hope he lives forever. And then he died like 8 hours later. And then I was alive for my dad's death and felt his spirit wash over my body. I don't know what that means. I need to work through that. But I've been like, I know when it's coming. Is that weird? You know, like Khloe Kardashian or Kim Kardashian could smell when Lamar had a dead tooth. I can smell when people are actually dying. I told my dad, I said, you're dying of something. And I feel like it's cancer. And he was like, there's no fucking way. And sure enough, dead. Double dead. Okay, let's get to the new voicemail. Real hard emotional pivot there.
Hi, Heather. Calling from Chicago with an absolutely not. I have been single for a while, and I just met this really great guy. We've been dating for a few months. Everything is going really well. Like, I keep telling all my friends, no, he has no red flags. Like, that type of well, right? Like, just kind. I could just go on. Great guy. And the absolutely not is that he lives approximately 10 miles from me, and it takes probably an hour, to get to his house with traffic. It's like you find a man that it could work with, like this is high possibility, and then you just spend 90% of your week in your fucking car trying to drive to them. And he just re-signed his lease, and so did I. So there's like no hope for movement on that. And I just need to be patient, and I can't be. Like, I'm just so frustrated. I'm currently in traffic, and I thought calling you and complaining about it would help. And I don't know if it is, but it's the worst. Like, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And I don't mean to be rude because I am very lucky. He's so great. And also, I could murder someone right now in this traffic.
All right, first of all, bitch, I am angry. I know that you called me to bitch. This is a safe space, but absolutely fucking not. Do you know how many women listen to this podcast and are desperately trying to get dick down, and you're complaining about sitting in the car for an hour when you could listen to moi keeping you entertained? Bitches got on the Mayflower to find dick, okay? They went on the Santa Marina, what is it, the Pinta? What are the ships? What are the ships? The Pinta? The 3 ships? The Pinta, the Maria, and the Santa Novella? Santa Maria. The Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Marina. Maria. Well, Marina would make sense. It's aquatic. Let me tell you what right now, okay? People, did you not see the fucking movie Titanic? Okay? People were trying to get to the new world to find love. And you're bitching about sitting in a Honda Civic for an hour? Not my fault. I was 8 years long distance with my husband. Unbelievable. I went 3 months at a time without seeing him. You said I don't think there's any red flags. He seemed like a perfect guy. But you know what? He's across town. Bitch, take the train. You live in Chicago. Any day above ground is a good day. We just had a woman call in that she's, pallbearing for Nana and hoping that she left her $20 and an antique set of china and maybe a grandfather clock or something she could take on the Antique Roadshow, and you're here sitting bitching about driving an hour to get dick down? At least you're getting dick down. Unbelievable. The privilege from that voicemail. I'm angry. My God. I'm glad you called the bitch, but now I'm bitching at you. Get your shit together. He sounds lovely. And, okay, so you both signed your leases. Well, did either of y'all ask to move in together? You didn't. So you're taking it slow. He seems respectful. But I'll tell you right now, if this come this time next year, you're not living together, then maybe he isn't Mr. Perfect. All right? I really say benefit of the doubt for this guy. And, also, too, he could get in his car and drive across town. I hope it's not always you going to him. But I will say, we are out here fighting for our lives. And you got to bitch about being in traffic for an hour. You've clearly never lived in Manhattan. If somebody lives in another borough, if you live on the Upper West Side and you're trying to get to a guy in Red Hook, you might as well get on the IKEA ferry, take a bump of cocaine, and just blow your brains out, okay? You're never going to get there. Or you have no idea. Everybody's in traffic all the time, anywhere, period. That's just what it is. Too many cars, too many people. I just spilled on my titty. What do you want from me? I did see this thing that was all over the news this morning in New York, and this is so New York. So they were doing this thing where they were going to charge people, I think it was $15 to come into the city because they're trying to ease congestion in Manhattan. Well, I swear to God, I think this is a proper statistic. If I heard this correctly on the news this morning, they spent something close to $1 billion on security cameras that would clock your plate as it came in to make sure that you were, paying the toll, if you will, to get into the city. And now, all of a sudden, they're not going to use this system anymore because they don't know if it's going to be efficient. New York City is the only city in the world that would just throw $1 billion down the drain. Meanwhile, you got rats nipping at your ankles, okay? You got the hot dog stands that will literally put you 6 feet under. Unbelievable. We're just throwing $1 billion at security cameras, and now we're not going to charge people to come into Manhattan? You're out of your damn mind. This is so New York, and that's why I love it. It's just a city of fucking scammers in the best way. I'm married to a New Yorker. Oh my God. I mean, it's such bullshit. But that was the most New York shit today. We're going to spend $1 billion on security cameras. You know what? Changed our mind. Some guy in Little Italy right now is sitting fat, okay? He's running the security camera ring. It's all bullshit. It's enough. I see through it, okay? I see through it. $15 to get in Manhattan, that's expensive.
It's just to go below, it was below 72nd.
To go below 72nd, you'd have to pay $15 in and out?
Yeah, but the bridge and the tunnels are already 15, around there. Depends on which one.
This city will shake you down. Meanwhile, very upset. Very upset. Again, I know you're talking about your boyfriend, but this is about me. Check into our hotel. We always stay, now I'm going to give it away because I don't know if we're going to stay there anymore. We always stayed at the Conrad Hilton in Midtown. Anytime I do the Today Show, it's the best hotel in the city because the rooms are huge. It's a 5-star hotel. They always did such a great job. And we're Marriott Bonvoy people. So it was a big deal that I would give my monies over to the Hilton. Loved it. The Conrad was perfect. We checked in the other day. Marriott Bonvoy's taking over this hotel. I realize how privileged of a conversation this is, but it was a shit fucking show. None of the keys were working. Nobody knew what was happening. There's no name for this hotel anymore. It was literally like people's heads were fucking popping off at the front desk. Now, as somebody who worked in service industry and hospitality forever, I know how to talk to somebody from the front desk. Of course, I was going to come in respectful. Nothing worked. It's a shit show. So I'm sad. You know what I mean? I'm a little sad. I did just slip in front of the Sheraton, so maybe they'll give me the penthouse, but I'm a little sad. I'm hoping I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to really shoot myself in the foot because I'd love to do a Marriott Bonvoy deal, but Conrad, we just want you to know we miss you. You had a great product and we miss you, okay?
People at the front desk.
And the people at the front desk actually got in a fight with a couple. There's a little beef right now. And it's not to the staff that's worked there for 40 years, okay? Those are my guys at that hotel. But you got a new front desk manager who's a little sassy. Anywho, what was I talking about? Okay, this bitch in Chicago. Get your life right. You're bitching about being in traffic for an hour. Bitch, we're always in traffic. That's called life. You know what I mean? You got a great guy who's kind to you, who treats you with respect, who's giving you sex on the reg. Shut the fuck up, okay? The amount of women right now that are listening to this angry, I'm angry for them, you know? And also, there's nothing worse than when you sit down with somebody new and they're like, oh, let me talk about the traffic. Find a new topic, you know? Discuss Gaza. No, I don't know. I didn't mean to laugh after that either. Just like discuss anything but traffic. Yes, we're all living in it. Weather is at least more interesting than traffic because weather's changing. You know what doesn't change? Fucking traffic. You're always in it. If you leave at 4, you're not going to get there till 10. Start walking, bitch. Get in your steps. All right. Let's get a new voicemail.
Hi, Heather. This is Hannah from Arkansas. Probably shouldn't have identified myself, but you know what? I'm going to. So I have an absolutely not. Unfortunately, I had to call off my engagement. Really hard, but I felt like it was the right decision for me. I'm almost 30, so clock's a ticking, so love that. But my absolutely not is that my dream vacation was Italy. So we were going to go to Italy for the honeymoon. And even though I called off the engagement, this man Venmo requested me for the amount in flight tickets that the Italy trip would have cost. So, you know what? I know that he was just mad, and I know that he was just probably being a dude, being angry, but absolutely not to that, because you know what? That's, in my opinion, just pretty messed up. So anyways, let me know your opinion on this. Would love to actually see you in Italy one day, and about to have a hot girl summer. Love you.
I love you, honey. And I'm sorry that things aren't working out with the fiance. First of all, you said something that really, it got me in my core. You said, you know, clock's ticking. I'm almost 30. Honey, you have the rest of the world in front of you. What are you talking about? All right, call me when you're 37 and you got no eggs left. All right, but you're trying to do a fucking international cruise, throwing 2,000 fans on the cruise. So I can't get knocked up before then. Anyways, those are my own personal problems. You're almost 30. You literally have the world is your oyster. Okay. I have been with Jeff since my early 20s. We didn't get married, lock it up, walk down the aisle until I was 35. Like, trust and believe, you know, make them work the system for a little bit. Now, I got to be honest with you. It's going to be controversial. You called off the engagement. Yeah, he is pissed. I say, I don't blame him for sending the Venmo. If you broke it off and he's upset about it, I see what he did there. If Jeff broke up with me tomorrow, you bet your ass I'm sending him a Venmo for fucking everything. Time. You know what I mean? Wasted time. Hold on. Let me do that again. Time. Golf membership. Groceries, because he eats us at a house and fucking home. What else? You know, my acid reflux medication, because he keeps the agita up here. I don't know. Any sort of beauty thing, because I wouldn't have to use as much Botox if I wasn't dealing with his ass all the time. What else would I charge him for? Luxury vacations. You know, I don't know, tampons, just in general, anything in my home, cleaning the ducts, the HVAC bill. I would charge him for fucking everything because he ruined my life. No, I love Jeff. Shout out to Jeff. He's a good man. But if he did, I would shake him down. I would literally hang him upside down outside of a window and let the change fall out of his pockets. I don't think I could hold him up. I mean, I could. If I was going to be a pallbearer, I could definitely hold my husband up. But you know, if Jeff goes before me, you bet your ass I'm going to be his pallbearer. But I would shake him down for everything. I'd Venmo him for fucking everything. Now, I hear you. You know, you're upset about it too. And obviously it wasn't an easy decision calling off the engagement. I do need a little more backstory. You know, why did you call off the engagement? Now, if you called it off because, you know, he was sleeping with somebody else, then you reject that Venmo request. But, I mean, here's the deal. You either pay him for the flight or you keep the ring. And if you're already keeping the ring and the house and the dog, you know, and being a real hoarding bitch, then just pay him for the fucking flights. You know what I mean? What are you going to do? What is it? $4,000 to go to Italy in Delta One? Pay him for the flights. You know, and I understand your family's out the money for the wedding. They're already mad at you. You got a lot of people giving you opinions, barking orders at you, telling you what they think about the relationship. Only you and him know what's going on, but I kind of like that he was petty. And you know what? Keep sending her Venmo requests. I know I'm always supposed to be on y'all's sides, but if Jeff broke up with me tomorrow, I would be, dude, I would charge him for everything. He would do the same too. You know what I mean? We could get really petty. But we wouldn't. Because again, I would murder him. I've said that so many times on so many podcasts. This is going to be played. They're going to splice it together one day of all the times I'm like, I love my husband so much, I would never divorce him, I'd murder him in court. And then what's going to happen is I'm like the least violent person on the planet. I don't even raise my voice at him. I would literally, somehow I'm going to get framed for some sort of thing. He's going to fall off a ladder after I told him not to. And the only thing that's going to save me is like Ring camera footage. But then I won't have access to the Ring camera because it's on, because I don't know the password. Because I never wrote it down. That's the other thing, gals. You need to know the passwords to everything. And it's not like Jeff hides anything. Everything is in our safe. Like I got the password to everything. I know where all of it is. We have a plan of action. You know, if the nuclear bomb goes off, we got a place that we're going to. If I get hit by a bus tomorrow, he knows where all my shit is. But I will say that's the wildest thing. When you break up, or when someone dies and you're like, I don't know the fucking passwords to shit. I don't know where they kept XYZ. I don't even know, like my mom didn't even know, who the pool guy was. Like that was the kind of shit. Ladies, be smart about it. If you're in these newer relationships, you're getting married, know where the shit is. Know the passwords. And I don't even say that as like, you don't trust them. You should fucking trust them if you're marrying them. But know where the passwords are. Know how to, turn on the outdoor lights and shit like that. Like don't be, you be self-sufficient. Don't be a pain in the ass, but also accept that them a request, because if you broke up with him, I don't blame him, but also see you in Italy. I'll be there in 2 weeks. Oh, speaking of Italy, here we go.
Hi, Heather. This is Lita calling from Los Angeles, but I'm actually calling from Roma, Italy. I'm with my
ciao.
family. Say hi. Hi.
Ciao.
We have an absolutely yes. I just wanted to let you know that I've been listening to your podcast for a very long time. My boyfriend and I recently went to your show in Los Angeles, and I know you love Il Sassetto in Rome. We went there, we had dinner, and I channeled you, and we talked about you the whole time. We ordered all of the dishes and tasted everything, and just wanted to say absolutely yes to loving your show, getting the best life advice, and also restaurant recommendations. Thank you so much. Absolutely love you. Tiramisu, bitch.
Tiramisu, bitch. I love that the whole family's there. If you do go to Roma, you have to go to Il Falcetto, which stands for the Falcon. It means the Falcon. And I stumbled upon this restaurant one night. It was down the street from our hotel, and they had the best amatriciana I've ever had in my life. It was fucking incredible. I love the whole staff there, the chef, the wife runs the show. Like, it's just amazing. Rome is one of those cities where I used to be more of a Milanese girl. I used to love to go up to Milan, but Rome, I could see myself. Rome got a bad rap for a little bit. I could see myself living there. I mean, shit, they got a fucking Soho House. You know what I mean? If you miss America, you go over to Soho House, get yourself a cheeseburger and a dirty martini, and it's like you're home. It's like you're sitting in a room with other losers in the entertainment industry, and there's always Tay Diggs in the corner in his fedora with supermodels. That's just, if you ever been to the Soho House, that's all that's at the Soho House. And nowadays it's only like European supermodels. So, there you go. Love Rome, love Italy. I love being with my people in Italy. Actually just got a new hit on Ancestry.com, and this is not a sponsored post or anything or shout out to them. I didn't want to do 23andMe because, my sister's a criminal defense attorney, so she said never give them your DNA. But I decided to do Ancestry. And, I've been able to connect my direct lineage to this guy, Antonio Frassica. We come from the Frassica family, which lived in Messina, Sicily. I got a new ping. There's a guy, Giuseppe. Giuseppe, he is, I think, the brother of Antonio Frassica. And he owns a very cool designer eyewear store in Messina, Sicily. I've been trying to DM him on TikTok, but he does not accept messages from people who are not his, that he doesn't friend back. So I'm starting to comment on everything. He has a TikTok for his designer optics store. And so I am trying to get in touch with this guy because I want to take my mom to Sicily to meet her cousins. And, it's exciting. Once you find your roots and where your people are from, the rest of my people are from Ireland. I'm going to Ireland soon. And we have a touch of Portuguese in us. So somebody either left Italy, went to Portugal, or they were a Portuguese native and then came over. I don't know. I'm trying to connect the dots, but I'm trying to find my family. So I feel it. My spirit becomes alive when I'm in Italy. My skin's better. I don't shit for about a week and a half, but sometimes you need to just bind it all up to then let it go in the Amalfi, in the Mediterranean. And it's a beautiful vacation for me. Really, truly, my get snatched for the summer program is by going to Italy. I'll come back 15 pounds lighter. And I will have ice cream 6 times a day. I'll eat pizza, pasta, a tomahawk Florentine steak. I will smoke 15 cigarettes. I will drink 8 bottles of Chianti and drink Aperol spritzes till I literally cannot take any more calories. And I will slim down. So, you know what? Fuck all of y'all. That is my plan. Okay, we got one last.
Heather, it's Emily from Columbus, Ohio.
Emily.
And I just went to my first speed dating event last night as a almost 29-year-old. And I could not stop thinking the entire time about our friends Tanner and Connor from Love on the Spectrum and how they survived that. It was absolutely horrid. The level of ick that I felt afterwards was overwhelming. And some of these men out there are not suitable to be around other humans. We're not pre-screened.
Yeah.
And, I mean, shout out to them. They put themselves out there, but oh my gosh. Is this why I have to swipe on the app?
Yeah.
I don't understand. And speed dating is horrible.
Yeah.
Maybe I just had a rough batch, but absolutely yes to putting yourself out there and doing something uncomfortable, but absolutely not to the speed dating event I just went to in Columbus, Ohio.
Heard. Emily, thank you for calling in. We're all out here fighting for our lives, but you are fighting for your life in Columbus, Ohio. Actually, quite a cute town. My husband's going to hear this and get very upset because I believe that's where Ohio State is located or close by. He gets very upset anytime I bring up Ohio. But Columbus, went to a fabulous James Beard award-winning restaurant there. Here's the thing. Speed dating, all speed dating is like if you sit down and you're immediately attracted to the person, right? And if you're not, if you sit down at a table and you're like, this is not my physical type, bing, bang, boom, you're out. Zip, zap, zop into the next one. I think, Emily, what you need to do is I've planned it all out. You're going to come to New York. You're going to go to Milos on 55th between 7th and 8th at exactly noon. Because when I tell you, I made a noon reservation today thinking that's going to be early. No one's going to be there. It was packed to the gills with hot finance guys. You're going to wear, what did I say? Something slutty. If you can find guys on TikTok I heard are really into the milkmaid dresses, which is kind of like what I have on right now. My jugs are juicy. I don't even have to wear a bra, so I'm quite comfortable. You go in there, you walk into Milos, you make a reservation to sit at the bar, and you wear a nice little milkmaid dress, and maybe have a couple folders that look like you're doing business, so they don't think you're a hooker. You don't want them to think that you're just out there, spreading your legs for cash. But now if an attractive man wants to pay you for sex, you absolutely take that money. Because why? We're investing in ourselves. But you take the folder, you highlight some things, look like you're working on, financial analytics, because that's a thing. And you sit there with a glass of wine, you order a nice piece of fish, whatever the catch of the day is, the zucchini chips, you dip them into tzatziki, and then what you do is, when a hot guy, there were a lot of hot guys at the bar, you get up, to move your napkin or something, and oh my God, my papers, they're everywhere. All of your financial papers, because you're also a boss babe, they're everywhere. They're all over the floor at Milos, and then the whole staff will run over to you, and even the waiters are fucking hot in their white chef's coat. I mean, you don't know who the chef is. It's all intertwined. I mean, you could be fucking a busboy or the head chef. You don't know. And you know what I like? That kind of service. And so you're standing there in your milkmaid dress and your titties are bouncing. You're like, my financial papers. What am I going to do? Boss man's going to be yelling at me. And then everybody comes over and they help you put your papers together. And there you are. You're kind of bent over, and a gentleman in a gorgeous Armani suit looks up to you and he goes, Miss, you dropped these. And then you look down and it's your Prince Charming. And he is some hot fucking Italian dude from Yonkers, and he will fuck you so hard in the Uber on the way back to his mother's house, because that's absolutely who he lives with. And it will be the best sex you will ever have in your life. And when he takes off that Armani suit, he's got 3 tattoos on his back of the Virgin Mary, or the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. And that's what you do. That's what you do. You just literally get dick down, and then he's going to say, I fell in love with you. It's the best pussy I've ever had. And you go, but I live in Columbus. And he said, doesn't matter. We're going to make it work. And then he's going to give you points on Delta to fly back and forth to Columbus and New York. And that's it. And you figured it out. So I say you do speed dating at Milos. And Milos, if you'd like to send me a gift card, I will accept it. Just slide into my DMs. Truly, one of my favorite restaurants. I haven't had a meal that fresh in a minute. For lunch, they have a $45 prefix. Okay, let me tell you about this. One of the starters was grilled octopus. So good. Tina had the grilled octopus. I had these gorgeous heirloom tomatoes with some nice feta, nice little drizzle of olive oil. Then I had the tuna burger with some fried zucchini. She had the piece of fish. I mean, sometimes that's all I ever want for lunch. I want like a Greek salad and a nice piece of fish and a glass of some sort of Greek white wine. I don't ask for much. And then you know what I had for dessert? She is the epitome of health. I had fresh Greek yogurt with a little drizzle of honey and some crunched pistachios. And if that doesn't say molto bene, I don't know what does. I don't know how to say that's delicious in Greek, but opa, yeah. So the answer to your question is yes, speed dating is tough. And unfortunately, I think you're only gonna keep zip, zap, zopping to find love if you're immediately attracted to them. But if not, you're gonna go to Milos. Again, Milos, milkmaid dress, folder full of financial papers. You drop them, and that's it. You're getting dick down in an Uber on your way to Yonkers. It's a beautiful thing. I love that, here I was getting to spend my morning with the female, I would say the Barbara Walters of our time. You know what I mean? She is incredible. She is so kind to me. Hoda, if you see this, I love you. I mean it. You're one of the best in the biz, if not the best in the biz. So here she was giving me advice this morning before we went on air. She's like, follow my lead. I got this. I said, Hoda, I'm so nervous. And here I am giving you advice. So remember, follow me. I got you. We're in this together. Or don't take any of my advice because I should absolutely not be giving it out. Anyways, I love you. I mean it. Thank you for calling in. As always, you can call into the hotline 800-213-7503. And, she found love in a hopeless place, AKA Milos on 55th Street. Hope you have a beautiful weekend. I'll see you at the race and see you out in the mean streets. And next thing you know, I'll be in Italy. So watch out, world. Here we come. Ciao, Bella. Arrivederci. See you on the next episode of the Absolutely Not Podcast.